Hey beautiful friends, I'm in my herb room but not for long. The sun is shining outside, so I'm going to take all of my stuff, actually head out into the garden and do some potting up and some seed starting. You guys know I've got hundreds of seeds started. Most of you guys were with June and I when we were starting those seeds, but these are all plants that I am selling. I haven't actually started, aside from one tray, anything that's for my garden. And so I'm excited today to kind of dig my hands in the soil and get to figure out what I want to plant. I've changed my mind several times. It's so hard, you know, when you have to like make a decision and it's gonna last for like the entire summer. I just want to make sure I make the right decision. You know, I want to make sure that I have the right tomato varieties, the right flower varieties. But today I'm going to do things kind of different, and I'm excited about it. My friend grew in these 5x5 trays. I'm going to actually grab those real quick and show you. Yeah, so my friend has grown in these 5x5 trays from the Bootstrap farmer. They come in a pack of 60. They're colorful. Those of you who know me know that this speaks to my soul. So when I saw all the colors, I was like, done, sold. So I bought these, but Jess had actually planted her tomatoes in here and other things, and she had an abundance one year, and she was like, hey, do you want these to separate out and sell at the plant sale? And so I did, and that's when I started picking her brain about starting seeds in here. Typically when I'm starting seeds, especially tomatoes, I'm starting those in 128 cell trays. They can take up a lot of space. You guys know we've kind of had that weird winter weather happening around here, so everything's inside and it's not actually out in my greenhouse right now. So when I thought about this, and I thought about the space it's gonna save and how I don't even have to worry about doing that 128 cell and then up potting from there, they can just stay in here until they go into their final pot. I don't know, it just made a lot of sense to me. I like doing things a bit unconventional, and obviously, like, if it's gonna save me space and it's pretty to look at, I thought I was going to give it a go. We're actually going to start our tomatoes in here today, and then some things like marigolds that don't get that big. You know, when you're thinking about a sunflower, I probably wouldn't want to, you know, start sunflowers in here just because they get a lot bigger, so they're going to be taking up, you know, all that nutrients and stuff in the soil. But I'm kind of excited about this. You guys know I like to experiment with things, and so this is going to be one of those that I've gotten, you know, my friend's review, and she says, yes, it's definitely worth it. She loves these, but it's going to be cool for me to do my own assessment. So let's grab our materials and head out to the garden. I will come back for the seeds in a second. I grabbed 2 of each tray because I honestly didn't know how many I was going to need. I am going to kind of tell you guys some tips for keeping your trays. You know, Bootstrap Farmer is a high quality tray, therefore you're going to spend a bit more than just on a cheap plastic, and they'll last a long time. But for me, when I am spending that higher price point on trays, which I'm fine with, I want to make sure that I take care of them. And what that looks like for me is making sure that I bring these back inside. I'm not leaving them out in the sun for the color to fade and things like that. So it is something I recommend. If you guys choose to buy a higher quality tray, just take care of them. It's starting to smell like springtime. Oh, I could literally just come out here and like lay down in the garden, just soak up and be like, I'm coming for you, spring. I love this time of year. So I went ahead, took my trays back into the herb room and filled them up. That way I wasn't having to lug soil back and forth. You guys can kind of see here, I'm filling up pretty much to the rim. So I went ahead and put these in a shallow 1020 flat that I had. As you guys can see, it actually works really well. Typically I put, you know, all my things in those deep 1020 trays, but with these, I don't know, they seem like they fit really well, so I think I'm probably gonna just keep them in these. Plus they fit really well. I'm able to fit 2, 4, 6, 8 of them in here, so that's probably what I'm gonna do, is just keep them in here, and I have plenty of these trays as well. I will link all of the things that I'm mentioning today down below in the description so you guys can find them. If I had to go on a wild guess, I would say that these were probably most traditionally used for like microgreens and sprouts, which for me was another reason why I went ahead and purchased them, was because I want to attempt to use them for seed starting. However, usually in the off season, so in like the fall and the winter, I shift and I do more microgreens. So I'm going to use these for microgreens as well. If that's something that you're looking into, this would probably be a really good option. So I have my notebook. I have my seeds, some of them. These are just a small little collection of my tomato seeds. I get asked about these a lot. These are actually photo containers that I buy on Amazon. You can buy them on sale. I actually found some on sale recently at a craft store. They're not really that cheap if you find them like on Amazon, so maybe if you have a craft store, look there first. But essentially these hold 4x6 photos, and they also hold your seed packets perfectly. I just go through and label them. So I'm gonna reference my notes, see what I'm gonna start, and we'll get started. I'm gonna tell on myself here. So for the plant sale, I take very detailed notes. I mean, like I'm putting when I start them, the variety, where I bought them from, how many seeds were started, how quickly they germinated, what the soil conditions were, if they were light, if they were on a heat mat. I mean, I take all these detailed notes, right? Here are the notes I found for my own garden. It says paste tomato, 10. Large slicers, 10. 4 red, 2 yellow, 2 tie-dye, 2 extra. Like, these notes are like just garbage. I need to get it together. So I have no variety on here, so I'm gonna go through, rummage through my seeds real quick, figure out what variety of these, knowing that I need to at least have 10 tomatoes, 10 paste tomatoes, whether that's the same variety or not, I'm not sure. I gotta get better about this. So since my notes are lacking a little bit, when I made the plant tag, you guys can see here, I put the variety and then I just put a BI for botanical interest. That's way I would know where I got those seeds from. So I'm doing a lot of paste tomatoes this year in our garden. I've talked about that. We're just low on like all of our marinara, spaghetti sauces, ketchup, things like that. So I'm gonna do this Italian Roma. And most of my paste tomatoes came from botanical interest. I have this Ace 55. I'm gonna do this pink ox heart. It actually came from seeds now. And then a red snapper tomato that came from Haas Tools. So there's 50 seeds in here. The rest of them are 30 seeds, so I don't need that many. That's the thing too. That's what I'm trying to figure out here. I wish I would have done this for my plant sale things, because I sowed at least 50 or more of each variety, so that would have made a lot of sense. But I'm feeling okay about it because this way I'm still saving space and it's giving them more room and they're not going to be overly crowded. Like if I were to start 50 seeds in here or 100 seeds, I mean, that's kind of a lot. So I'm going to try it. I also am wanting to varieties that I am low in. So for instance, I don't have any Dr. Witchy tomatoes. I got this from the seed swap and it's really adorable. The person who did it spent a lot of time. Look at that. I'm going to plant them just with the purpose of saving the seeds from them because I don't have any. So there are some of these that I'm going to go through as well, and I may even be growing those in containers if I don't have the space, just for the purpose of pretty much saving the seeds. So all the same rules will apply to planting in this as if you were planting in an individual cell. As far as like how deep you plant it, all the requirements and everything like that are going to be the same. What I typically do, instead of going in and making that indentation like I would if I was doing it in a cell, I'm probably just going to go through and like sprinkle these on the surface and then go in and just push them down, and that way I can kind of see if I feel like there's space well enough for what I feel comfortable with. And so that's just how I'm going to do it. Alright, I'm going to flip it around, show you guys what I've done here. Alright, if you guys can see, you see all these little bitty seeds right there and right there. I ended up only planting 10 in here just because of what I need, and I figured I'd have some friends that would buy some as well. So now all I'm going to do is just go in, press them down, cover it up, press it down, cover it up. Man, it's kind of hard finding these. I missed some. Alright, I'll probably just do an assessment of the soil too and just make sure that they're all kind of covered. And I'll water it really well. There we go, that was so easy. The good thing is too, say you were in a situation where you were going to be planting, say 50 or 100, you could literally just dump the whole seed packet on there. Make sure it's all pressed in, that they're spread out well. So it's probably going to take you a lot less time to seed a tray this way versus putting them individually, especially if you're doing that by hand. I don't know, I'm just really enjoying this. I love having the opportunity to just kind of play around and just do things different than I've done them before. So this actually kind of really excites me. I don't know, if you guys have grown or started your seeds in these 5x5 trays before or like this, I want to know. I saw someone the other day on Instagram, they took a tin casserole, like an aluminum casserole dish that you buy at Walmart if you're going to throw away, and that's what they started all their seeds in. I was so impressed at the resourcefulness of that. And I don't know, I guess when I think about starting seeds, I just kind of go to that traditional way of thinking, which is, you know, you got your tray of whatever, whether it's a 50 cell tray, a 72, 128, more than that. And I just always think of, you know, hand planting one cell at a time. And so I've never thought about doing this. I've never done anything like this before, even in the days where I was bootstrapping it and, you know, just using whatever I could find to possibly start seeds in. I still just only did one seed per whatever container I found. And I really don't know why I did this. And so I'm kind of like breaking the boundaries on my own mind here. And so I don't know, I really enjoy that. I encourage you guys, break the boundaries. Don't do things the traditional way. If you are in a pinch where you're strapped and you just don't have the money to buy trays or something, figure out what you have that could be in comparison to this and just kind of make it work. I gotta help her. June, are you helping? Oh, don't bite it. Yeah, don't bite it. You gonna say hi to your friends? Can you tell them hi? Are you helping Mama? You're helping Mom? Okay. There you go, good girl. Oh, I love my children. I do. But man, nothing will test a parent more than seeds starting with your babies. So this is actually pretty cool and probably worth showing you guys. If you can see this seed here. Let me try to show you guys. Can y'all see that white seed? This is actually tomato seed that is pelletized. You'll see this a lot with lettuce and carrots, and because the seed itself is so small, it's really hard to seed. So they will make them into these little pellets, which make it a lot easier to seed, which I actually really appreciate. I didn't realize that these were, you know, the pellet ones, but I've never actually seen that with a tomato either, so that's pretty cool. So I got 4 trays done really quickly. I can already tell that moving forward next year for the plant sale, this is definitely what I will do because it's just so much quicker to seed and plant than it is, you know, trays. There's nothing wrong with those trays. I will still use those. But right now I'm just running out of space in the herb room. We're still having those lower temperatures. I'm not wanting to bring a heater out into the greenhouse. And so these are just things that I'm trying to figure out, play around with. I encourage you guys to do that as well. So now I'm going to switch gears. I've planted all the paste tomatoes that I need. I am going to go ahead and plant some marigolds because I am needing more of those for the plant sale, and quite a bit. I had some that didn't germinate. I saved them from a friend's garden, and so I don't know, I just have the hardest time with marigold seeds. I don't know what the deal is, and I have thousands and thousands of them, so you think I should figure out how to plant them well. But let's go grab those and we'll get started on those. So I've grabbed my marigold seeds. I'm just going to be planting the rest of these white marigolds, and then I have got pods of marigolds saved from my friend's garden. These are yellow marigolds. I haven't actually seen those before, so I thought they were really pretty. What I'm gonna do, because there doesn't really have to be a rhyme or reason with this, so I kind of like that. So I'm literally just gonna take these and sprinkle all around the top. Show you guys what I got going on here. Alright, so I've picked the actual pod off, and I'm just kind of going through right now and separating these a bit more. You guys can see these are pretty heavily sewed on here. So I'm just going to take my finger and kind of spread them out a bit more, but this is exactly kind of what I had envisioned. Now I'm just taking my hands and kind of damping them in, and I'm just going to brush the soil over it. When I go back inside, I may actually just take some more soil and sprinkle over it just to make sure that they're down in the soil well. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the white. I actually really like that. So these obviously aren't in the pod. They're a bit smaller. Marigold seeds, though, I think I've shown y'all guys this before. They just really look like matches, so it's kind of easy just to kind of sprinkle these on top here. And all of the seeds are officially gone. So I definitely need some of these to germinate. That way I can put them in my garden and save seeds for these next year. I've never seen the white marigolds before either. I've never planted them. Usually I just plant the traditional French marigolds. These were really, really eye-catching though. Very, very beautiful. So I'm excited to have those planted in my garden this year. Alright, so I got them covered up. I'm gonna pop them back in here. I'm probably going to do another tray of the yellow marigolds as well, just since the ones I have started so far have not germinated at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and just sow another one. I've got the seeds, so might as well. June, do you want to plant this one for Mom? You want to plant it? Here, Mommy's gonna let you plant. I'm gonna give you the pink one. This should be fun. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. You gonna listen to Mommy? Alright, put it down. Put it on the picnic table. Good girl. Alright, June, here's all the seeds. Open your hand. Here, hold your hand like this. Look, hold your hand like this. There you go. Alright, take all those and plant them in there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what happened? That's okay. You're doing good, Junie. Plant them in there.
No.
Oh, you got a few more. Now, are you all done? Can you give it back to Mom? Thank you. Let's see how she did. Oh, I see some seeds in there. You did good, June.
Huh?
This will be the little June tray. Alright, I'm just going to move those around, kind of stick them in. We'll see what happens. Alright guys, I'm going to get back to planting the rest of these because now that June is helping me, it is going to take a little bit longer than I had originally planned. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on the process of all of this, how I like it. I just feel like it's going to help me in the long run, especially with like space and stuff like that. I will link all these trays. I will link the photo storage thing down in the description below. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It feels so good to finally just get outside in the garden, feel the wind blowing, have the sun beating down. It's just such a wonderful, incredible time. And I was questioning if spring was going to come around. I really was. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. We're going to have another round of winter. I kind of got down in the dumps a little bit. So having this spring-like weather has just really got me excited. But thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll talk to you soon.